I'm wondering first of all.
But chlamydia is the easiest STD to cure.
Absolutely. Each time it's like starting fresh. Fortunately for me,
like
chlamydia, and I'll tell you what, gonorrhea is not as bad as they say either.
Yeah, not with modern medicine.
Modern medicine, and to
you
be
can
honest,
make these mistakes. HIV, you can control it with a cocktail.
That's right, and with herpes, I mean, really, unless you're broken out, they're never going to know anyway. By the time they do, you're out of the woods. So that's
you can make the mistakes again and again and again. And
but no, they're serious life mistakes. I think. Well, first of all, have you ever had made one mistake that was so damaging that you never made it again? Made it only once, and also, do you find that you have to make the same mistake multiple times in order to learn from it often?
Yeah. If the mistake's really damaging, so that it just
screws you up.
Yeah, it totally screws me up. I'm remembering this contract that I lost, which is for a massive amount of money, something very valuable, and I totally lost it. And I'll never forget that. But
was there something you did that you said, shit, I should not have done that, and next time if I'm in this...
Yeah, I shouldn't have lost the contract.
Oh.
All right, I'm lookforward.com right now.
Oh. I see. Oh, so you let it lapse or something?
I lost the contract. It was supposed to revert back to me in 5 years.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so you don't lose a contract.
So you don't lose contract.
I learned not to... The one thing that I learned only had to make... One mistake I only had to make once was to let myself fall in love with someone who did not love me. Only happened once. And that was a rough one, but bad enough that I never was going to make it again. Other than that, I can't think of much. Generally, I have to make it 20, 30, 40 times.
Wow, this is like your 10th Torah talk?
Yeah, right. And I still think it's good for me. No, but I mean, really, like there's this idea that, fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me. But just the idea that, like, you can learn something from one experience, or it's rare that you can. It's an accumulation of things, and there's a lot of important life lessons that I've had to assimilate over time, and very rarely has it been that I just got clocked on the head once. Normally I had to take a real beating over time, and then suddenly I copped on, wait a second, this is not right.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so that's...
No, that's good. But one similarity on that, Joseph as a kid dreams about his brothers bowing down to him, and then we find in chapter 43, verse 26, when Joseph came to the house, the brothers brought tribute that was in their hands to him, and they prostrated themselves to him toward the ground.
Yes. That's the irony. Therein lies the irony, because the point of the commentary I was reading was that he couldn't dream about that to dream about people bowing down to you is bullshit. You have to learn it's not about you. But it even said in the commentary, and then when they do bow down to you, it's still not about you. It was like, but they will. That's how they will. So it's interesting, like, because he gets all his infantile dreams. All his infantile dreams and fantasies of domination come true.
Yeah, at least the ones that are printed in the scripture.
Right.
And some of his other dreams of domination are not revealed in the Torah.
Well...
But if he was viceroy of Egypt, I'm sure he could make anything come true.
And he got Potiphar's daughter.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is that?
I know. And unbelievable. Well, look, and I'll tell you something else. Genghis Khan, who, as far as I know, was not Jewish, was very clear. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but we talked last week about how men want to dominate. There's a story of Genghis Khan telling his sons. They were debating what was the greatest pleasure a man could have, and they were talking about riding, falconry and stuff like that. And he said, no, the greatest pleasure a man can have is to conquer your enemy, march him through the town square in shackles, clutch his wives and his daughters to your bosom, and ride his horses.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot to be said for that.
And the crazy thing is...
I've always enjoyed it.
It's a good gig if you can get it. But the crazy thing is, Genghis Khan was no idiot.
No.
He was and I didn't see that movie, but I'd read some of his... he was a very insightful guy who knew a lot about life. But still, he was very comfortable with that. No, this is what I love. I love really dominating people and lording it over them.
Yeah. I mean, this week I interviewed for the second time a father of a friend of mine. So I interviewed Dr. Solomon Schimmel, who's author of this new book, The Tenacity of Unreasonable Beliefs, Fundamentalism and the Fear of Truth, and that's an ostrich with its head in the ground on the cover. And I know his friend, his son David Schimmel, who's a longtime reader of mine.
It's a great cover. Yeah.
And I also interviewed Broadway producer Avi Bornstein, who's father of my friend Alex. So now whenever I see either of my two friends, I can say to them in my best Jamaican accent, "I blogged your dad, man." And like, I think the only thing greater than blogging your friend's dad is like, and I'll use polite language here, like courting his mother.
Right.
I blogged your dad.
I blogged your dad.
And I courted
your mother. I did know. Yeah, this is not something I've discussed with others before, I don't think. But I didn't have a friend in high school who courted another friend's mother. Have you ever known such a?
No, I've seen movies about it.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen in movies, but
it was pretty.
Valley Girl back in 1983.
Ooh, great movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but
yeah, I remember where he.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the mother. He did the mother.
Right. Well, that's how they used to do it. I mean, back in the day in Rome, like a man wants to lie like a stallion with both mother and daughter. I mean,
I could understand that if I wasn't like constrained by the Torah. I'd be
right. You'd be in there.
I saw it in this British series. The guy dated the daughter, and she brought him home, and he was staying at the family's house, and he was taking a shower one day, and the mother came in to the shower with him. So I found that interesting.
This was a movie?
Yeah, it was a British like mini-series or a TV movie.
Yeah, over there they call them yummy mummies. Like,
yummy mummies.
Mummies who are down for it.
I can understand how from a secular perspective that might be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there is something primal, sisters.
That's like Alpha and Omega.
Right, yeah. Well, but sisters and mother-daughter, like, there was a famous gangster in Ireland who used to just, he married a wife with like 13 sisters, and all his sisters were married. He just knocked up all his sisters, like, and I was just, and like, it's not something to admire.
Mm-hmm. No, we don't want to emulate that kind of behavior, and we don't encourage our viewers to emulate it.
No, but you can understand it.
It's interesting. It's like, interesting. I don't know if this is a human or if this is an animal desire, but when a man's woman gets raped, the man's not usually, "Oh, you poor dear, how awful for you." He feels like,
right,
someone's like soiled my property.
Right. Yes.
It's like it's like his wife's become, or his girls become, in many cases, distasteful to him.
Right. Well, absolutely.
Because she was raped by no fault of her own, but now
it doesn't matter.
And then I've heard in the animal kingdom that if a female is raped, sometimes the man will like rush back and try to inseminate her to make sure that his sperm wins. Right. It's called sperm competition.
What?
Horse Dragon says, "Okay, gentlemen, clearly you only have eyes for each other. Have a pleasant afternoon. Merry Christmas if you celebrate it."
To you as well, Welsh Dragon.
This is Joey Kurtzman, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Let it not be forgotten. But and this is what we are talking about is relevant to the portion, because Joseph, as a young man, had very primal animal dreams of lordship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting what you just said. You said I don't know if it's a human desire or an animal desire. Well, the distinction between the two, for me, is not so clear. I mean, human beings are animals, and we have other capacities as well. But there's no use being in denial of kind of our animal nature.
Do you think there would have been an awkward wedding when Joseph married Potiphar's daughter?
You would think that would have been. See, that's why I don't know why the Torah leaves that stuff out. That's where it really gets good. If there was a People magazine being issued at this time, they would have told you what was Potiphar doing, what was Potiphar's wife doing, was Joseph looking at Potiphar. Oh, man.
Maybe they all went on Oprah.
Yes. Wow, good gosh. I would have tuned into that Oprah for sure. Wow. I mean, there's great drama and great melodrama in the Torah, and they leave it out. Like a burlesque dancer who